Welcome to the third week in June of 1982. We've got an alien at the box office, mostly 70 shows on television, and a slew of one-hit wonders to sing along with on the radio. All that and more, so click the subscribe button and stick around. This Week in the 80s starts now. If you were headed out to the movies in June of 1982, you had a lot of choices. Sometimes we go to the movies and you want to find a movie that just kind of isn't terrible. But if you were going out in June of 1982, you had a ton of great choices. Some had been in the theaters for a while, others were brand new. But you could have chosen the number 12 on the list, which was Conan the Barbarian, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not going to give you my Arnold impression, because it's not very good. In fact, very few Arnold impressions are very good. So if you do one, stop doing it. It's not funny and your friends just haven't told you yet. Number 11 on the list, Hanky Panky. This was a Gene Wilder event that just didn't do very well. I watched it once. I don't want to see it again. Number 10 on the list was Porky's. Porky's rung up $94 million with Ball Breaker and Pee-wee and all the hijinks that went on with it. Of course, I was 9 years old, so I wasn't out at Porky's, but a lot of people went to see it. This had already been in the theaters for 14 weeks and still in the top 10. Number 9, The Sword and the Sorcerer. This is just a terrible movie that people love to watch and make fun of. It's really bad. You should see it. Number 8, speaking of really bad movies, Grease 2. No. And 80s kids love to claim like, oh, we have Grease. Like, no, the original Grease was in the 70s. This one was garbage. It's fine. Whatever. Watch it and hate it. It's fun to watch movies that are really terrible. That's why we have the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Number 7 is Author. Now, Author is an autobiography written about a playwright trying to get a movie into Broadway or something like that. Of course, I'm never going to watch something like that because that's just never going to be for me. But one thing that's interesting about it is Anthony Horowitz was the writer. He still is the writer. Anthony Horowitz wrote it. And you might not know who he is, and that's fine. But you might know his son. His son's name is Adam. Adam Horowitz? Ring a bell? No? Maybe you know him by his stage name. The King Ad Rock. One of the 3 Beastie Boys. Number 6 on the list is Poltergeist. Now, Poltergeist is a creepy movie, but it's even creepier when I tell you this. The scene in the pool when the bodies are coming up and it's raining and there's lightning and there's bodies like that frightened me as a child. Now it frightens me as an adult because I read that those are real bodies. Those are cadavers they got down at the morgue. Now that is some serious cinematography. Actual dead bodies in the pool. No, thank you. I don't ever want to watch that movie again. They're here. Number 5 on the list, Annie. I'd rather watch Poltergeist. Number 4, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Now, Khan! Yeah, we all know that scene. Old Star Trek's not for me. I like the newer Star Trek, The Next Generation, with Picard and Riker and Geordi and Data and Deanna Troi. But this one is the old school. This is Shatner and Nimoy, and it's just not for me. Number 3 on the list is Rocky 3. You want to talk about some serious 80s awesomeness. You've got Sylvester Stallone, you've got Mr. T, you've got Hulk Hogan, and, it's a fantastic movie. One scene of this really bothers me, though. They're out at the press conference, and Mr. T's calling him out, right? And, of course, Rocky's not biting. He's a professional. He's not going to fall for that stuff. So Mr. T then starts insulting his wife, and that doesn't work. Listen, you're Rocky Balboa. You are the Italian stallion. Some dude's going to say something about your wife, and you're just going to sit there and take it? No. That's not going to happen. Number 2 on the list, Firefox. That was a good movie. I saw it once. Didn't need to see it again. Didn't do so well. Only ended up getting about $8 million. Because number 1 on the list, second weekend already, it grossed $12 million just this week. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Some people haven't seen this movie because they're not really into sci-fi. And I can understand that, but this really isn't much of a sci-fi movie. It's more human interest. Like E.T.'s like this sweet little boy who's just trying to get home and he just wants to dress up for Halloween and eat Reese's Pieces. Like E.T.'s awesome. I want him as a friend. So let's take a look at the top 40. There's a lot of good songs on this list. Some of them are by bands you don't know, but you know the song. Other times, You certainly know the band, but you never heard that song. Like, for instance, number 38, Huey Lewis and the News. Everybody knows Huey Lewis and the News. We love you, Huey, but Hope You Love Me Like You Say You Do. That's not one I remember. 37 was Heart, This Man of Mine. No idea. Number 36, Steve Miller Band with Abracadabra. Since Steve Miller was like a summer playlist for us in the 80s. We used to go see him every summer. He played the amphitheater up the street, and tickets were like $12 for lawn seats, and you just go and have a good time. Abracadabra by Steve Miller was played every time, and it was awesome every time. Stevie Nicks at 35 with a Nothing Song. REO Speedwagon at 34 with a Nothing Song. Fleetwood Mac at 33. Hold Me. What? You want me to tell you what songs they were? Fine. 35, Fleetwood Mac, After the Glitter Fades. What the hell is that? 34, REO Speedwagon, Keep the Fire Burning. I can't fight the feeling on that one. Number 33, Fleetwood Mac, Hold Me. You know, a lot of people are big on Fleetwood Mac, and they're popular. They're super talented, and people love their music. I'm not one of them. Bands we know, singers we know, but songs we don't. Rick Springfield with What Kind of Fool Am I? What kind of fool am I to put that on my list? I won't even say anything bad about this band. I'll just say it and move on. Number 30, Journey, They Still Ride. They still ride right out of town when I'm playing it. Number 28, Foreigner, Break It Up. Stevie Wonder, Do I Do. These are all songs by bands we know, but songs we just don't know. Loverboy, think of a Loverboy song. Quick, 1, 2, 3. What is it? You know it, Working for the Weekend. Is it When It's Over? No, but it was this week. It was 26. Number 25, Elton John. I can name 50 Elton John songs. Now I can name 51. It's called Empty Garden, Hey, Hey, Johnny. Nope, never heard of it. Alabama at number 22. There's a lot of country stuff in the top 100 in the early 80s. Take Me Down by Alabama. Ronnie Millsap, Any Day Now. Ronnie Millsap, what's going on? All right, top 20. Now we're going to get into stuff that we know and stuff that we like. So we've got Only the Lonely by the Motels. I can't tell you why I know all the words to that song, but I do. Little River Band, going back for some country. Man on Your Mind. I'm the man on your mind. You're the one that's watching my show. 18, Charlene. I've Never Been to Me. Yeah, Charlene, I've never listened to your song. It's okay. Finally, here we go. Remember I talked about the one-hit wonders that we all know and love? How about some Soft Cell? How about some Tainted Love? Now that is a true full force 80s one-hit wonder. I love it too when it has the second part, the Baby, Baby, Where Did I Love Go? When you only get the first half, you kind of feel gypped because it's only like 2 minutes and 12 seconds long anyway. 16, 38 Special, Caught Up in You. Number 15, another huge hammer, 80s one-hit wonder, Tommy Two-Tone, 8675309. Yeah, you called it. You called it on other area codes. You just wanted someone to answer and someone to be named Jenny. No one was, and they all hated the fact that that was their phone number. Number 14, the other Rick Springfield song that you actually do know, Don't Talk to Strangers. Number 13 was Roberta Flack. Stop it. I'm not interested in making love, Roberta. Keep on. Number 12, Juice Newton. Love's been a little bit hard on me. This chart's been a little bit hard on me. No one's coming to save me. Number 11, Queen with Body Language. Number 10, Denise Williams. It's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a miracle for this chart to get better. It just keeps getting worse the closer we get to number 1. But here's a great song, John Cougar, Hurt So Good. Now, this is before he was a Mellencamp. He was just John Cougar. And Hurt So Good's a great tune. Number 8, the Daz Band with Let It Whip. I'd rather listen to Devo with Whip It. I don't know who the hell the Daz Band is, and I don't want to find out. Number 7, here we go. I don't like covers. I think covers are terrible, and I really just think the original is all that should be done, and just leave it alone. But sometimes one comes along that's pretty good, like this one. Joan, Jett and the Blackhearts with Crimson and Clover. Now, Tommy James and the Shondells, I had the Tommy James and the Shondells greatest hits, and I wore that album out. It's awesome. Joan, Jett and the Blackhearts, Crimson and Clover, that's a good version. I'll allow it. I'll allow it this time. Don't call Doug Llewellyn on me. Number 6, Heat of the Moment by Asia. Number 5, Always on My Mind, Willie Nelson. Number 4, Ray Parker Jr., The Other Woman. Ray Parker Jr., The Other Song. Just don't stop busting ghosts, Ray. Number 3, Rosanna by Toto. Rosanna by Toto and Heat of the Moment by Asia. They might as well be the same song. Number 2, another huge hammer heavyweight 80s one-hit wonder, The Human League with Don't You Want Me. You were working as a waitress in the cocktail bar when I first met you. I don't know if I got that right, but it sounded right. Number 1 on the list, Ebony and Ivory, Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. 2 of the best. So you flip on the television on June 15th. It's a Tuesday night in 1982. What are you going to watch? Well, ABC has already figured out what they're going to do, and that's what they're going to do. NBC and CBS has no answer for it, so they're just making stuff up. Because ABC is the heavyweight, and that's how it's going to be. On ABC at 8 o'clock, it's Happy Days. Listen, it's 82 and Happy Days. Like, this show's winding down, but people are still watching. Partly because it's still a good show, partly because we just watch shows until they stop showing them, but also partly because NBC and CBS had nothing to offer instead. CBS had Universe, and NBC put up Brett Maverick. Like, they were trying, but they were failing. At 8:30, we had Laverne and Shirley. Now, this episode's called Moving In. It's like the iconic one because Laverne is moving out on Shirley. So Shirley's just left with Boo Boo Kitty and her milk and Pepsi. Again, NBC was still running Brett Maverick because that was an hour-long show, and CBS had The Two of Us, a show that nobody watched and nobody cared because they were too busy watching Laverne and Shirley. At 9 o'clock, it continued. Now, these are really like 70s shows, right? Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. At 9 o'clock on ABC was Three's Company. I love Three's Company. It's so crass and so ridiculous. They could never do it now. There's way too many jokes about too much stuff that would just offend everybody on the planet. But in 1982, it was fine. The other channels had nothing going on still. CBS didn't even bother. It's Tuesday night, and they decided to show a movie. Tonight, it was The Streets of LA. Everyone's watching Three's Company anyway. And NBC gave us an Angie Dickinson show called Cassie and Company. It was on for 4 weeks at the beginning of the year, and then they put it on the shelf. They brought it back out, ran the gamut on it, put the 13th episode on, put it in mothballs, and it never came back. At 9:30 on ABC, Too Close for Comfort. Remember Ted Knight and the Cosmic Cow? I really didn't get much of the jokes on it, and I didn't really see it all that often because, again, I was 9 years old when this was on. But I did remember that cow, and it was on his hand. It was his puppet, and he used to use it to draw his cartoon, and that was a lot of fun. At 10 o'clock this night, NBC had Flamingo Road on, and CBS was still running their movie. But ABC brought out the big deal. They brought out the Barbara Walters special. And who's she interviewing? Oh, no one important. Just Carol Burnett, Willie Nelson, and Clint Eastwood. I'm not much for interview shows, like just sit and watch one person tell another person to talk and lead them down the road. But that one seems like one that might even be worth finding. It's no wonder the other channels didn't bother trying on Tuesday night. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, Too Close for Comfort, and then Barbara Walters. Put it on ABC and leave it there for the rest of the night. That's going to do it for me from the third week in June in 1982. Thanks so much for sticking around. Thanks to the South Carolina Stingrays, the East Coast Hockey League team, for having me out and getting me this cool shirt. I'll see you guys next week here for more This Week in the 80s. Don't forget, click that subscribe button, click the bell, and find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll see you guys soon.